Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wind Down Friday. Today, our special guest is Andreas Lifvendahl, CEO of Percepio. Hi, Andreas. Welcome aboard. How's it going?
Hello. Hey, good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good to see you. Thanks a lot for your time. Where are you located, Andreas?
At present, I'm actually in Nice, in southern France.
Nice.
Otherwise, Percepio is operating out of Västerås, close to Stockholm in Sweden.
Sweden. Good. So, Andreas, I have a couple of questions for you. We will discover more about you. So you started your journey with a master in engineering and physics, so a pretty technical path. So looking back, so how has that shaped the way that you approach the leadership, innovation, and even risk-taking in business? So tell us more about you.
Right. Oh, I like starting there. No, that was a very humbling experience. I was one of these probably lazy but fairly clever in math and physics in high school and gymnasium, and then I picked that education because everyone told me that if you really want to something hard in terms of math, and then I realized, okay, this was hard, and I probably need to step up my motivation and engagement. But it was a really good learning experience in terms of how it formed my professional life, especially realizing even if you are faced with a very daunting task, like a daunting area within physics, molecular physics or quantum physics, and you realize I do not understand anything at the start. You take it in small bites, and there is some kind of order in the madness. But then I think I combined that kind of topics, which are really in a way binary. You're trying to catch up with what much brighter minds have discovered decades before, right? So I also did some political science and finance and so on, which was more on the other side. It was more of an open debate, and I really enjoyed that combination.
Nice.
Of there is fact, but you also need in real life. It's not like physics. There are so much uncertainty. So you need to navigate, trusting that you have thinking capabilities, but constantly adapt because you never have sufficient data as you do in a very classic physics environment, right?
Right. So you did different jobs. So I mean, different profiles: CEO, board member, mentor. So across all these roles. So what's one belief or mindset you have carried with you from the start?
Right. To be honest, I'm not sure if I carried it consciously from the start, but I think looking back, it relates to being very humble on that you don't really know things. You don't have sufficient data, but you can trust your thinking process, and you can trust sort of trying to be data driven. I like the term calibrate with reality.
Nice.
And especially when you jump in as a mentor, when you really don't know, you're sort of trying to help a bunch of experts that really know their stuff. And trying to bring them this being humble to how things will evolve and change, and you need to make decisions, although you will never have 100% accurate data. So some kind of humbleness to that 95% is out of your control, but you can day by day you can take in the new data and adapt, to be really humble. But then, of course, you can have long-term goals and ambitions, but you need to be ready to sacrifice a lot of your if you have too detailed vision, you probably have to sacrifice the details to actually win the vision.
And now,
and you can never replay, right? You can never. Sometimes you think, oh, we should have done that 2 years ago. Well, maybe or maybe not, because we can't turn back universe 2 years and then replay it, because other things might have impacted that we didn't see.
And thank you. And now you are the CEO of Percepio, so you have stepped into a new a new way, a new chapter. So what excites you most about taking on the CEO role there? So Percepio, where do you see the most potential for innovation? Tell us more about your company.
Right. No, I was serving as a board member for 4 years before joining as CEO. So I've been following Percepio from a sort of higher altitude. And it was my old industry, the embedded systems industry, because I worked for a long time at IR Systems, Swedish compiler maker. So I was sort of familiar, but then I see this interesting paradigm shift in a way that the embedded market is still very heterogeneous, very conservative. It's very detailed oriented in a way, right? You need to take care of clock cycles and register allocations. It's very down to details. But then you see the whole movement of software development and then adding AI to that. It's like two worlds colliding in a way. And then realizing that Percepio, that traditionally has been really excellent with this trace visualization, tracealizer tool that's been hugely popular, which is like an extremely advanced debugging tool for those that really want to have deep insight into multi-threaded systems. Realizing that you would probably see a revolution in embedded systems in terms of observability, because the complexity will continue to grow. And even if there are a lot of guys that have full control over the deterministic parts, the timing, and all the fine-grained parts, the bulk of the software will be out of control, and no one will have the full control of it. So you need to build in observability, checks and balances. You need to be able to monitor, especially within IoT, when you develop and you test and you launch your product, and then will operate in a very complex environment and receive over-the-air updates, added feature, added new way of connectivity, and so on. And as a product owner, product developer, you will lose control unless you have built in with observability in mind. So that's where I really see that little Percepio has an ideal position, right? And we're bringing this term to the market of continuous observability. We like that catchphrase because it ties both to the continuous integration, continuous development, continuous test, best practice with observability on the other hand. You should treat continuous observability as part of that continuous chain of things you do in order to have code quality and control of your product.
Code quality is important if we are talking about embedded systems, of course.
Exactly.
I was reading your biography, and you have described yourself as an accidental entrepreneur. So what does that mean to you today?
Yeah.
How has that mindset shaped your approach to building companies? So tell.
That's an excellent question. It's a bit tongue in cheek, because I think there is I certainly had this idea of what a real entrepreneur is, this brave risk taking that can't stop him or herself from just inventing new stuff all the time. And I thought I'm not really that person. I like to think in new ways, and I really like to build something from scratch. Going from 0 to 1 is extremely fun. So then I realized I could probably be both sort of honest engineering style person, but with some risk balance, take some entrepreneurial spirit into that. Maybe not creating something completely novel, but looking at combinations of things and looking from a sort of a use case and then adapt and then probe and then be I think it boils down to curiosity, right? This what if question. So I never set out to be an entrepreneur, but I realized when I look back that I've most enjoyed where it's really high level of uncertainty, and you're starting from from zero, basically. It's so rewarding when you see something grow.
Let's do a step talking about so as the philosophy of Wind Down Friday, talking about your beyond your job. So which are your hobbies? So do you have free time to recharge your battery? So which kind of books, for example, do you like reading? Sports?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I think I've been becoming better and better of having a good life balance, and I think
this is
I'm
important.
driven a lot of curiosity. Now my kids are in the late teenage, so I'm
Mm.
gradually, when you first become dad, your free time just vanish, right? But then gradually it comes back. It's in a gradual process. No, I enjoy going to the gym a couple of times a week, and that's really
Good.
a meditation for me. I put on my headphones, listen to
Or
some
music.
good music, and then I'm
Mm.
sort of everything is sort of I drop everything else. Uh, Also, I find it's meditative and de-stressing to cook, to spend time in the kitchen. That sort of pings into some creative part of me as well.
Wow.
I like my kid says that's a hobby room. That's the kitchen, right?
Mm.
And then reading as well. I do enjoy reading. It's more and more audiobooks and podcasts today because it's easy to be on
Yes.
the move. But like this week when I'm enjoying vacation, it's really fun to have this paperback and letting the hours slide. And then it's a combination of fiction and popular science as well. I don't read management literature typically. I find it's pretty boring and sort of it's in a way survival bias. Someone describes how you should do things, but then I realize, but that's probably just luck. The other 9 books were never written because it didn't work out right. So
So,
right now with me I have Kazuo Ishiguro, Never Let Me Go,
mm.
the British Japanese, really
Oh,
interesting writing style.
good. Good to know. Thank you. So, Andreas, you often talk about also enabling
Mhm.
eureka moments from the Greek. So, what's something you helped build either tech or culture that made you think, yes, this is it?
Right. Oh, both tech. I think I have uh, come to think of 2 examples, one from tech and one from culture.
Mm.
In tech, it was in my previous job for the video enhancement, video analytics firm, Vidhans,
Mm-hmm.
started as a small spin-off from university research as a really small startup and was struggling a number of years because we're trying to implement video enhancement for drones.
Mm.
But that was a decade too early, right? Sometimes a good idea is just too early. And then we realized in the office, well, smartphones is getting more and more computational power. And we're thinking like you can take really nice photos. 10 years back, you had this camera race in smartphones. And we were accustomed to nice pictures on magazine covers or brochures. And you could almost reach the same level as an amateur with your smartphone. But then video was really horrible. So it was because the manufacturer thought that video is just a series of still images in a row, but that's not how we consume video. We consume video in a different way than we consume images. So then we thought, okay, why not give it a try? Let's do a mock-up on how we can improve smartphone videos. And then we went down to Mobile World Congress, me and an engineer, and with just mock-ups and no pre-booked meetings, knocked on the big doors like Huawei, Samsung, Sony, and realized that they really were fascinated. And then we thought, when we went back, I've never experienced that you go to a show floor, a big exhibition with no name, no recognition, no network, no contacts, and you get that level of interest. So that was a eureka moment, like that hunch, we're onto something.
Mhm.
There's something here, right? Uh, And then in terms of culture, I think it's also from that company when we started from. At one point in time, it was just me and one engineer, so it was a two-guy company. And then growing with a few engineers, and then realizing that I hired a person that I felt, okay, I don't have a role, but this is just the kind of person that could bring the right culture to the company. And then forming a small management team, and especially we had a lot of junior guys joining us, giving them a lot of responsibility, forming a management team, and saying that within this team, we are not head of development or head of sales or head of marketing. We are the company. So we discuss openly for the benefit of the company. So we have no roles in this room. And when that took off, it was really amazing to see how robust the company got, even if it was still very small, because people took on that responsibility. It's like even if I'm head of marketing, survival of the company is up to me as well. So it was really this all on deck kind of culture. So that was a eureka moment as well, when it actually worked, and you could see how people stepped up and took responsibility and ownership, basically.
Thank you. Nice. Andreas, last one. So from me for this went down Friday. So last one for fun. So if we open a bottle of wine, I hope that you will prefer Italian wine and toast to something. So what would you raise your glass to today?
Oh, that's a good question. And you're absolutely right. I'm not trying to flatter you, but it would be a good bottle of Barolo, I think. El Barolo.
Choice.
Yeah, what fantastic. No, and this answer is it's good timing. It's not to do with business at all. I'll drink to love. So on a very personal note, so I separated a few years ago, and that's of course a roller coaster experience. You reflect a lot on yourself, and now I'm on a trip here with a new love in my life. So that goes back to what we said in the beginning: uncertainty, humbleness, because life, you never know. Just embrace the changes, and so that's nice. So I'll toast to love.
Nice words. Thank you, Andreas. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on Wind Down Friday. I wish you a great weekend, and see you next in some embedded conferences. Right?
Fantastic. No, it's really nice chatting with you. Excellent questions.
Thanks a lot.
Got me to think.
Great conversation. Take care. Thank you, Andreas. Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye now.